Well, hey there, CEOs. Welcome back to the Early Childhood Business Made Easy podcast. I'm Kelley Peake. I'm your host, and I'm super excited to help you find more of that time, freedom, and profit that you so deserve. Now, today we're diving into something that I truly think about even 20 years after owning and operating my own businesses. And it's not just as a business coach, but as someone who still walks into her own preschools and play cafes every day. Every day I'm still here. Every day I'm still managing some of the chaos and clearing the overwhelm. And I have to make that choice myself every single day. Because here's the thing, there is a version of you that is running, operating this early childhood business from a place of reaction. You wake up in the morning with a plan. Maybe you even have your planner color coded, but by 8:15, it's already gone sideways. Someone's called out, a parent sent a message that needs to have a thoughtful response, the supply order you place is sitting in the wrong classroom, and instead of spending your morning leading your business, you are putting out fires. Now, let me ask you something. When is the last time you had a full day where you worked on your business strategically instead of in your business? Now, I'm talking about a day when you spent time thinking strategically, reviewing your goals, building systems, planning your next growth move. So if your answer is, well, I can't remember, then you are in the right place. Because what I want to talk about today is the mindset shift that changed everything for me. And I know it will for so many of you. It has for many of our members and mentees in our Shine membership and mentorship. Now, it's not just a strategy. It's not just another tool. It's just not another thing to add to your to-do list. It truly is a shift in how you see yourself and your role in the business that you lead. Directors put out fires. CEOs prevent them. I want you to sit with that for a second because I genuinely believe that one sentence can change the way you operate your business from this day forward. Directors put out fires. CEOs prevent them. So today we're going to talk about 3 specific strategies to help you make this mindset shift. And I mean, really make it, not just nod along and then get back to all that firefighting by the end of the day. I've also got a free resource for you today. It's the CEO Self-Awareness SWOT, which is one of my favorite tools in helping you see some clarity, especially where you are operating and hopefully from a CEO mindset, or maybe where you might still be stuck in director mode. So you'll be able to get that at kelleypeake.com, where you find information about today's podcast, episode 174. So here's those 3 strategies. Number 1, we're going to talk about how to recognize which mode you're operating in, manager versus CEO mode, director versus CEO, and why the difference is costing you in both time and profit. Number 2, we're going to talk about how to build the 3 pillars of a CEO mindset: purpose, passion, and plan. So you have a foundation that doesn't crumble every time something goes sideways. And number 3, we're going to talk about using the CEO leadership and profit engines dream, lead, and grow framework. This is going to help you start seeing your business from a completely different altitude. Now, the chaos isn't a feature of your business. It's a signal that you're still operating like the person who works in the business rather than the leader who builds it. Now, the moment you make the shift from director or manager to CEO, from reactive to strategic, my friend, that is when everything is going to change. Your time, your profit, your team, most importantly, your peace of mind. That is the transformation at the heart of being a CEO, a confident early childhood operator. The skills that make you an incredible director: being hands-on, knowing every child by name, jumping in when a team member needs support. Those are the very same skills that keep you trapped when you are trying to scale, when you are trying to lead, when you're trying to find more profit. Being great at the director and operator role, it's not a weakness, but applying that director and manager level thinking to a CEO level decision-making process, well, that might be what's keeping your business from growing and your calendar from clearing. Here's a number I want you to think about. Research consistently shows that most small business owners spend less than 10% of their time working strategically on their business. The other 90%, it's spent reacting. And in our early childhood businesses, where the ratio requirements, licensing demands, team turnover, parent communication needs, those are constant. That number can feel even more extreme. Most of the people that we work with, our CEOs, come to us averaging somewhere between 50 and 60 hours per week in their business with profit margins at the 2 to 5% range. The industry standard for a healthy early childhood business is 10 to 15% margins. The gap between where most directors are and where a confident early childhood CEO can be isn't about working harder. The data is clear. It's about working differently. And it all starts with how you think about your role. Now, I want to tell you about a childcare center director that I worked with who had been in the business for 12 years. She knew every family. She could troubleshoot any licensing requirement in her sleep, and she genuinely loved her work. But she was averaging 55 to 60-hour work weeks, and she was taking home less than she had hoped for when she started. She told me in our first conversation, I built this thing so I could have freedom, and now I'm its prisoner. Wow, that hit home. When she shifted out of director mode into CEO mode, starting with the CEO self-awareness SWOT and the purposeful profit plan from our preschool business blueprint, something clicked. She stopped trying to be the best at everything, and she started being strategic about where her time created the most value. Within 6 months, she reclaimed 14 hours a week. She promoted a team member into a lead role she'd been underutilizing, and she increased her monthly net revenue by $3,800 without adding one single enrollment slot. Now, today, she leads that business as the CEO she has always had the potential to be, and she actually leaves by 4 p.m. on most days, which is something she told me she is so proud about. Now, this is what I want for you, and it all begins with strategy number one. Recognize which mode you're actually operating in. So before you can make the CEO mindset shift, you need to get honest about where you are right now. And I mean really honest. Not, I'm a CEO on paper, but a one-woman show in reality. Be honest. I'm talking about looking at your actual calendar, your actual daily decisions, and your actual energy at the end of the week. Here's the distinction I want you to hold on to. Managers operate from the present. CEOs operate from the future. Managers asks, what's happening today and how can I handle it? CEOs are going to ask, where is the business going and what do I need to put in place so it gets there without requiring my constant presence? In early childhood businesses specifically, manager mode looks like this. You're the backup for every call out. You're the one answering the parent inquiries at 9 p.m. You're the person who knows where every supply lives, who handles every difficult conversation, and who makes every operational decision, big or small. And you're exhausted because of it. CEO mode is an early childhood business that looks a little different. You have systems that cover the operational basics. Your team knows what to do without having to find you first. You spend your time reviewing data, building relationships with your community, planning for the next quarter, and making strategic decisions that move your business forward. You are not the solution to every problem. You are the architect of the systems that solve them. The CEO self-awareness, the SWOT tool that I have for you, it's today's free resource. It is specifically designed to help you see this clearly. It's not a generic SWOT. It's built around early childhood business leadership, and it helps you identify exactly where you're leading strategically and where you might still be stuck in director mode. That kind of clarity is the first step toward real change. Now, here's something I always tell my Shine members and CEOs. You cannot fix what you cannot see. The CEO self-awareness SWOT tool makes the invisible visible. And once you can see clearly where your time and energy is actually going versus where it needs to go, well, then you have something you can work with. So action step number one, I want you to download that CEO self-SWOT tool at kelleypeake.com, episode 174. Block out 30 minutes this week and complete it honestly. Don't rush. This is one of those tools that rewards the time you give it. As you fill it out, pay attention to which items feel more uncomfortable, which items are going to make you push outside that comfort zone, because that discomfort, it's telling you exactly where to start. Action step number two, for the next 5 business days, I want you to keep a simple time log, just a sticky note or maybe a notes app on your phone or just a scratch piece of paper to write things down. Every time you handle something operational that could possibly be handled by someone else or with the right system in place, write it down. And then at the end of the week, look at this list. That is your CEO opportunity list. Those are the areas where your mindset and your operations need to shift from manager to leader. Now, on to strategy number 2. This is where you're going to build your CEO mindset. And I want you to focus on 3 pillars: purpose, passion, and plan. Now, once you see which mode you're operating in, the next step is building the foundation that makes the CEO mindset sustainable. And I'm not talking about motivation or mantras. I'm talking about a real structural foundation. So in our preschool business blueprint, I teach what I call the 3 pillars of a CEO mindset: purpose, passion, and plan. Each one plays a specific and essential role. Purpose, this is your North Star. It's the clear, specific reason you are doing this work. This is not a generic mission statement. Your purpose is what keeps you making strategic decisions, even when everything else around you might be pulling you back into reactive mode. When you know exactly why you are building this business and what it's supposed to give you: freedom, financial security, community impact, a legacy, that's when you make decisions from that vision instead of from that daily chaos. Now, passion, that's going to be your confidence catalyst. This is the combination of belief and energy that allows you to take risks, try new things, and lead your team even when you do not have all the answers. A lot of early childhood leaders that I talk to have quietly let their passion dim, because when you're running on empty and you are fighting fires all day, it's really hard to feel excited about your business. But passion isn't just a feeling. It's a practice. You rebuild by reconnecting with your purpose and by giving yourself the space to actually lead, which is what this mindset shift makes possible. And finally, plan. This is your strategic blueprint. A CEO doesn't just have a vision. She has a concrete, measurable, purposeful plan for how that vision is going to become a reality. In early childhood businesses, this looks like a purposeful profit plan, knowing your revenue goals, understanding your cost structure, having a clear picture of what financial health actually looks like for your specific business, whether it's a preschool, a play cafe, enrichment program, childcare center, whatever you might be leading. Without a purposeful plan, even the strongest purpose and passion can get scattered across 100 different directions. And what I love about these 3 pillars is that they work together as a system. Purpose, it clarifies your decisions. Passion, that fuels your action. And plan, it focuses your effort. When all 3 are in place, you stop operating from fear and overwhelm, and you start operating from strategy and clarity. So action step number 1, I want you to write down your purpose in 1 sentence. This is not your mission statement. It's your personal why. Complete this sentence. I operate this early childhood business because I want, then I want you to put in a specific outcome for a specific person or group. Keep it honest and personal. This is your anchor. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day, on your desk, your mirror, your planner. My goal is to elevate the profession of the early childhood industry. My goal is to help every early childhood leader, whether that's an educator or a business owner, really advance in this field. You have to decide for you, what is your personal why? Action step number 2, I want you to open your calendar for the next week and find 1 60-minute block that you are going to protect for your strategic CEO work only. No operational tasks, no parent calls, no coverage questions. Use that time to work on your purposeful profit plan. Write down your revenue goal for the next 90 days, identify your top 2 revenue streams, and note 1 thing you could adjust to increase margin without increasing enrollment. This is what CEO work looks like in practice. Now, if you missed it, we just had our Profit Illuminator event where we went over your purposeful profit plan in detail. You can find it at kelleypeake.com if you want to go ahead and revisit that Profit Illuminator event. On to our final strategy number 3. This is where you're going to use the Dream, Lead, Grow framework to lead from a higher altitude. So this 3rd strategy is all about giving you a practical framework for thinking like a CEO every single day, every single week, not just in theory, but in your actual day-to-day rhythm. This is where the CEO leadership and profit engine comes in. Specifically, 3 skill areas at its core: dream, lead, and grow. Dream is about vision and decision-making. As the CEO of your early childhood business, you are the one responsible for knowing where this business is headed and for making the decisions that are going to move it in that direction. Dream does not mean daydreaming. It means having a clear picture of what your 90-day, your 1-year, and your 3-year targets, and consistently making decisions that align with those visions. CEOs who dream well become more decisive because they have a clear filter. Does it move me toward where I'm going, or does it pull me back into the weeds? Now, lead is about building a team that can operate without you at the center of everything. This is where a lot of early childhood operators get stuck because leading actually feels scarier than doing. But here's what's true. If your business depends on you being physically present and personally involved in every decision, my friend, you do not have a business. You have a very, very expensive job. Lead means investing time in your team's development, creating clear expectations, building communication systems, and then, and this is the hard part for many, actually stepping back and letting them lead. And finally, grow. Grow is about staying responsive to what your families need and what the market is telling you. Early childhood businesses exist in a dynamic, constantly shifting landscape. A childcare desert is happening right now. Tuition affordability pressures, evolving licensing requirements. These aren't static. And a CEO who is stuck in director mode doesn't have the bandwidth to notice these shifts and respond creatively. But a CEO who's operating from the dream, lead, grow framework has the mental space and the strategic systems to innovate. And that's what creates sustainable growth. Here's the practical piece I want you to take away. These three skills, they're not sequential, they are cyclical. You're always dreaming, always leading, and always growing, just with a different emphasis depending on where your business is in any given season. So the CEO self-awareness SWOT tool that I mentioned earlier, that's actually going to help you identify which of these three areas need your focus right now. So you're not trying to do everything at once, which is exactly the trap that's going to keep you stuck. So action step number 1. Identify which of the three skill areas, dream, lead, or grow, is your biggest gap right now. If you're unclear on your direction, that's dream. If your team is still entirely dependent on you, that's lead. And if your programs and revenue streams haven't changed in years, well, that's grow. Pick one and commit to one strategic action in that area this week. Just one. Write it down and put it on your calendar like an appointment that you cannot miss. Action step number 2. I want you to start a CEO focus note on your phone or in your planner. Every time you catch yourself operating in manager mode this week, make a decision or do something different. So if you are currently in manager mode and you're making a decision, or maybe you're doing a task that a system or maybe a team member could handle, that's what I want you to add to the list or make it and add to your notes. Is it dream? Is it lead? Or is it grow? Decide which area it belongs to. And then by the end of the week, you're going to have a clear picture of exactly where your CEO engine needs the most attention. And if this framework is resonating with you, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, I want to go deeper with this, don't forget we have the Preschool Business Blueprint that's going to walk you through every single component of the CEO leadership and profit engine in detail. The worksheets, the video training, the real implementation that's going to support, and it's built specifically for early childhood businesses. So let's bring this all together. Today, we move from feeling trapped in our manager mode, reacting to every fire the moment it starts, to understanding exactly what it looks like to lead as a confident early childhood operator. When you recognize which mode you're actually operating in, build your leadership on purpose, passion, and plan, and use the dream, lead, and grow framework to make decisions from a higher altitude, you're not just learning new tactics, you're fundamentally shifting the identity from which you lead. And that, my friend, is going to change everything for you and about how your business grows, how your team performs, and how you feel at the end of the day. Okay, it's that time. We are ready for our manifestation minute. So if you're in your car driving, just take a deep breath. If you're at home, close your eyes. If you're on the treadmill, pull your shoulders back. Imagine this. 3 months from now, you're sitting down on a Thursday morning. You've got your coffee in your hand, and instead of scanning your phone for messages before you've even gone out of bed, you open your 90-day CEO dashboard. Your team's handling the floor. Your enrollment is steady, and you have a full hour, a real protected, uninterrupted hour to work on the strategic project you've been putting off for months. You make it to pick up on time that afternoon for your own kiddo. You are present at dinner, and you know, in a way you haven't felt in a long time, that your business is moving forward with you as the leader, not just as its firefighter. That is the time freedom lifestyle this mindset shift makes possible, and it is absolutely within reach. Now, before you go, I want to remind you about that special resource and tool. If you haven't grabbed it yet, it's the CEO Self-Awareness SWOT resource. Please do that today. It could be the single most clarifying tool that's going to help you see exactly where you already are leading like a CEO and maybe where you have the most opportunity to grow. It's free and it's specific for early childhood businesses. It's going to make everything we talked about today immediately actionable. Go grab that at kelleypeake.com, episode 174. Now, here's where I want to invite you into what's next. And I want to do this without pressure, just clarity. If you're thinking, I love this content and I want to stay connected, join our free CEO community on Facebook, where early childhood operators ask questions, we share wins, we support each other every single week. And if you're ready for a step-by-step roadmap with ongoing monthly support, that's where our Shine mentorship gives you access to the complete preschool business blueprint course, monthly live trainings, and a resource library built specifically for the way early childhood businesses actually operate. That you will find at kelleypeake.com. And there's also going to be more personalized guidance. It's going to be deeper if you want to really work through some specific things, especially your CEO mindset shift. Again, that full roadmap with direct access to me is at kelleypeake.com. If today's episode gave you even one moment of clarity about who you are becoming as the leader of your early childhood business, I would be so grateful if you'd subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And maybe if you know another early childhood operator or CEO who needs to hear this, who is stuck in firefighting mode and ready for something different, please share this episode with them. We are trying to build a community of confident early childhood operators who are rewriting the rules together. And your referral, my friend, means everything. You got into this work because you wanted to make a difference in the lives of children and families. And I want you to know you can absolutely do that while also building a sustainable, profitable business that gives you the time and the freedom to be fully present in your own life. That is not a compromise. That is what a confident early childhood operator will do every single day. It's time to lead as the CEO you are becoming. I believe in you, and I will see you next week.